If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns are making serious moves this offseason, and Tuesday marked another big step in locking down their future. The team officially signed first-round pick Mason Graham, the highly touted defensive tackle taken with the 5th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. With this move, the Browns have now inked 5 of their 7 rookies, putting them ahead of schedule in terms of contract negotiations and minimizing distractions heading into the heart of off-season activities. For fans wondering if we'd see any rookie holdouts or contract drama, this announcement makes it pretty clear, not a chance. Graham's signing couldn't come at a better time, as the Browns kicked off their OTAs, organized team activities today, and having your top pick on the field suited up and ready to go is exactly the kind of energy and commitment the front office was hoping for when they drafted him. This is how you build a foundation. Now let's talk numbers, because Browns fans will definitely want to know what their new defensive anchor is walking into. Mason Graham's rookie contract is a 4-year deal worth a whopping $40.87 million. And yes, that entire amount is fully guaranteed. That's right, every cent. And let's not forget the cherry on top, a $26 million signing bonus. That's the kind of cash that lets you know the Browns aren't just drafting for talent, they're investing in the future of their defense. Rookie contracts have become a lot more structured in recent years thanks to the NFL's collective bargaining agreement, so there's not a lot of wiggle room for negotiation. But when you're the 5th overall pick and a disruptive force on the defensive line, you don't really need to fight for much. Graham earned that slot, and the Browns wasted no time getting pen to paper. Graham was a standout at the University of Michigan, where he carved out a reputation as one of the most relentless and technically polished defensive tackles in the country. He brings power, explosiveness, and a high motor. Everything you want in someone tasked with clogging the middle and collapsing the pocket. His arrival in Cleveland adds serious teeth to a defensive front that already features stars like Myles Garrett. Imagine being an opposing quarterback knowing that you've got Garrett on one side and now Mason Graham coming right up the gut. That's a nightmare scenario, and that's exactly what the Browns are trying to build, a defense that doesn't just bend or break, but absolutely smothers. Graham fits that mold perfectly, and the team clearly sees him as a long-term building block. This signing also sends a strong message to the rest of the locker room. It shows that the front office is locked in, organized, and all about business. There's no room for drama, no delays, just decisive action. It keeps the energy positive and focused during OTAs, where chemistry starts forming, playbooks are installed, and new leaders begin to emerge. For Graham, being signed and present from day one is a major advantage. He can dive into defensive schemes, build relationships with his teammates and coaches, and show exactly why the Browns made him a top 5 pick. It's a critical time for rookies, and Graham won't be missing a second of it. That kind of head start can make all the difference. When the season kicks off, as of now, only 2 of the Browns' 7 draft picks remain unsigned. 2nd-round running back Quinshon Judkins and 3rd-round quarterback Dillon Gabriel. But with the pace at which Cleveland is handling their business, it wouldn't be surprising to see both players ink it in the coming days. Judkins is a bruising runner out of Ole Miss, expected to bring a new dimension to the Browns' backfield. Meanwhile, Gabriel has the tools and leadership intangibles to become a developmental quarterback. Worth watching. Neither deal appears to be in jeopardy, and if things go as planned, the entire rookie class could be fully under contract well before training camp even begins. That's how smart franchises operate. Get your players signed early, let them focus on football, and eliminate distractions. It's also worth noting how rare and valuable this kind of front office efficiency really is. In a league where holdouts, contract squabbles, and off-season drama can derail even the most promising teams, the Browns are quietly doing everything right. They're not just acquiring talent, they're securing it swiftly and sensibly. That kind of front office competence builds trust with fans, players, and agents alike, and it reflects the overall culture that Cleveland is trying to establish. This isn't the same Browns team from years past. There's a clear plan in place, and moves like this, signing a cornerstone rookie to a fair and timely deal, prove that they're executing on it. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, it's just good football business. As for Mason Graham, the expectations are high, and rightfully so. Being a top 5 pick in the NFL comes with a target on your back. But everything about his college career suggests that he's built for this spotlight. He dominated at Michigan, and he's stepping into a system in Cleveland where he won't be asked to carry the load alone. He'll be surrounded by elite talent, guided by veteran coaching staff, and supported by a city hungry for success. If he lives up to even half the hype, this deal will look like a bargain by year 2. And if he exceeds expectations, watch out. The Browns could have one of the most fearsome defensive lines in the league, anchored by a player who's just beginning to tap into his full potential. There's also the locker room factor to consider. A guy like Graham isn't just a talent on the field, he's a tone setter. Players who work hard, stay humble, and lead by example tend to elevate everyone around him. That's what you need from your first-round pick. He doesn't need to be the loudest voice, but if he's the most consistent presence in practice, the one always grinding, always learning, always locked in, then he becomes more than just a rookie. He becomes a culture changer. And when that starts happening, the whole team benefits. From veterans to practice squad guys, everyone feeds off that energy. It's contagious, and it often leads to success that can't be measured just by stats or film. It shows up in wins. Ultimately, the Browns are doing what every smart franchise should be doing right now, investing in the future without compromising the present. Mason Graham's signing is more than just another name added to the payroll. It's a symbol of where this team is heading. The contract is done, the expectations are set, and the real work begins now. With Graham locked in and 5 rookies officially signed, Cleveland is laying the groundwork for what could be a breakout year. OTAs are in full swing, the energy is high, and there's a quiet sense of optimism brewing in Berea. For a team that's been knocking on the door for a few seasons now, this might just be the push they need to finally break through. And it all starts with moves like this. Solid, smart, and future-focused. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a bombshell rumor shaking the very foundation of the Cleveland Browns organization. Reports are circulating that star cornerback Denzel Ward has allegedly stated he will no longer play alongside quarterback Deshaun Watson. Yes, you heard that right. One of the franchise's cornerstone defensive players is rumored to have drawn a hard line in the sand, signaling a deep fracture within the Browns locker room. If true, this could send shockwaves not only through the team, but across the entire NFL landscape. For a franchise that has struggled for decades to find consistent success, this kind of internal conflict is the absolute last thing they need. So let's break down everything we know about this situation, analyze what might be fueling this rumored standoff, and of course, explore what it could mean for the future of the Browns. Now, before we dive deeper, let's acknowledge who we're talking about here. Denzel Ward isn't just some rotational cornerback. He's one of the best at his position, a 2-time Pro Bowler, and arguably the leader of the Browns defensive unit. Drafted 4th overall in 2018, Ward quickly established himself as a shutdown corner, capable of matching up with the league's top receivers. His commitment to the Browns was cemented with a massive contract extension that made him one of the highest paid corners in NFL history. So for a player of his caliber to reportedly make such a bold declaration that he refuses to share the field with Deshaun Watson speaks volumes. This is not a petty locker room squabble. This could be symptomatic of a much larger cultural or moral divide within the organization. Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, has been a figure surrounded by controversy since his arrival in Cleveland. Acquired in a blockbuster trade from the Houston Texans, Watson's tenure has been marred by off-field legal issues and suspensions, casting a long shadow over his otherwise elite on-field talents. The Browns bet big on Watson, handing him one of the largest guaranteed contracts in NFL history. But that gamble has yet to fully pay off, with Watson struggling to find consistency and shake off the rust from his time away from the game. It's not hard to see how this saga might be affecting the locker room dynamics, especially for players like Ward, who have been with the organization through its darkest and brightest moments. So what could be driving this alleged rift between Ward and Watson? While specific details haven't been officially confirmed, there are multiple theories making the rounds in NFL circles. Some speculate that Ward, known for his professionalism and strong moral compass, may be uncomfortable with Watson's off-field controversies and how the organization has handled them. Others suggest that the friction could be purely football-related, frustration with the team's offensive struggles, lack of cohesion, or perhaps disagreements in leadership styles. When you're a defensive leader constantly putting your body on the line only to see the offense falter week after week, that frustration can boil over. And let's not forget, football is as much about trust as it is about talent. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that neither the Browns organization nor the players involved have issued a formal statement addressing these rumors. The silence is deafening. In the NFL, when rumors like these surface and there's no immediate denial, it often suggests that there's at least a kernel of truth to the situation. Reporters close to the team have noted a noticeable shift in Ward's demeanor during press conferences and practices, with some even claiming that he's been more distant and reserved since the latest team meetings. Meanwhile, Watson has continued to maintain his usual media presence, focusing on improving his game and leading the offense. But behind closed doors, who really knows what tensions are simmering beneath the surface? From a team perspective, this alleged divide couldn't come at a worse time. The Browns are in the midst of a season where every game matters, fighting for playoff positioning in one of the most competitive divisions in football. The AFC North is stacked, with the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers all vying for supremacy. Internal discord can be absolutely catastrophic under these circumstances. A fractured locker room leads to poor communication on the field, missed assignments, and a general lack of cohesion. For a team that prides itself on gritty, defensive-minded football, having your defensive leader at odds with your franchise quarterback is a recipe for disaster. The coaching staff is now undoubtedly scrambling to manage egos, resolve conflicts, and keep the team focused on the ultimate goal. Let's also consider the long-term implications of this rumored standoff. If Ward is indeed adamant about not playing alongside Watson, the Browns front office faces an unenviable decision. Do they side with their franchise quarterback, whose massive guaranteed contract makes him nearly impossible to trade or cut? Or do they prioritize their homegrown defensive superstar, who has been a consistent, loyal contributor since day one? Either choice would have significant consequences for the team's identity and competitive future. Trading Ward would gut the defense and send a demoralizing message to the locker room. But moving on from Watson? That's a financial and PR nightmare that the franchise may not be able to recover from anytime soon. It's also important to look at how this situation could impact the broader NFL market. If Denzel Ward were to hit the trade block, he would instantly become one of the most sought-after defensive players in the league. Teams hungry for a shutdown corner, think the Eagles, the Cowboys, or even the Chiefs, would likely be willing to give up significant draft capital to acquire him. That could reshape the competitive landscape of the entire league. Conversely, if Watson were to be made available, despite his contract and controversies, there might still be teams intrigued by his upside, especially those desperate for a quarterback solution. But again, the Browns have locked themselves into a nearly unmovable financial commitment with Watson, making that scenario highly unlikely. Of course, it's possible that this entire situation could be overblown. Rumors in the NFL spread like wildfire, and sometimes a single misinterpreted comment can spiral into full-blown speculation. Perhaps Ward simply voiced frustration after a tough loss, and those words were twisted into something far more dramatic. Or maybe internal discussions are already underway to mend the relationship between Ward and Watson before things escalate beyond repair. Professional athletes, after all, understand that personal differences must often be set aside for the good of the team. But given the magnitude of this rumor and the profiles of the players involved, it's hard to dismiss it entirely without some kind of official clarification. At the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns find themselves at a critical juncture. Whether this rumored rift is real or exaggerated, it underscores the fragile nature of team chemistry in professional sports. Building a winning franchise requires not just assembling talented players, but fostering an environment of mutual respect, trust, and shared purpose. The Browns have worked tirelessly over the past few years to shed their reputation as perennial underachievers. But internal conflicts, like the one allegedly brewing between Denzel Ward and Deshaun Watson, threaten to derail all that progress. Browns fans everywhere will be watching closely in the coming weeks, hoping for clarity, resolution, and above all, a return to winning football. Stay tuned to this channel for all the latest updates on this developing story. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!